Okay, I'm back. This will be part two. I am not at all familiar with editing, but this is my last week of school, and the next couple of weeks I'll be finishing up finals. But thereafter, I'm going to figure out how to edit. So I think I left off with saying how I worked in corporate America in administrative capacity for a number of years. And so faxing copies, answering somebody else's phone is not something that I wanted to do. I got to a point where I couldn't stand it. The work was really monotonous and I was not happy. And for a good while, I thought that, I was doing fine because I made really good money. In fact, my salary was I made really good money doing it, especially because for about 8 years, I worked in the investment banking field. And for the latter 3 years of me working, I worked for a law firm. So money really wasn't so much of an issue, but I was not happy with what I was doing. And I knew that I was capable of so much more for me. I wasn't using some, gifts that I had. One of those things is funny when I was young growing up, hanging around with friends and stuff, and those who knew that I wanted to be a lawyer, they would say, "You're going to be a good lawyer. You love to argue." And it wasn't that I love to argue, it was just that, I like to make sense. And if I had a point of view, I could give you, at least two or three reasons in support of that. And so if you were the type that was just trying to come toe to toe with me with some like lame reason why you thought a certain way, then I was going to squash you. And so I think that would frustrate some people that, I would go so hard with, well, you know, for one, two, three is why I'm right. And, one, two, three, why you're wrong. Um, but you would really only use that sort of a tactic if you were in the law field, if you were a litigator, I think, in some sort of a litigation capacity. And oddly enough, I don't really see myself being a litigator. Although, I had oral arguments last week and I practiced um, and I did a fantastic job. I ran into a professor and so she said, "Hey, how'd your oral argument go?" And I'm not always one to toot my own horn the loudest, especially when it comes to areas where I feel I'm weak, like public speaking. But I did such a good job and I was so proud of myself. Um, and so when I told her, she said, "I am not surprised at all. You really have a presence where I could see you inside of a courtroom and I could see a judge asking you a question and you not being phased at all and being really confident in delivering an answer." And I was surprised and, really pleased that she saw that in me. So I guess I can't rule litigation out. I just don't see it in my future right now, but I guess I don't have to. Um, so yeah, that's why law school. Um, I hope I answered your question. Um, if there are any more questions that you have for me, feel free to leave them in the comments section and I'll address it. Oh, you also wanted to know about whether school is boring. To me, it's not boring. I really enjoy it. It's difficult. It is really really challenging. Um, but I enjoy it. It really just depends on what your personality is, how you like to think, um, whether or not you'll find it boring. There are people who knit. Some people will find knitting to be boring, but there will be other people who will find knitting to be therapeutic and who are really into yarn and patterns and who will look for the perfect yarn to fit that perfect pattern. And so it's something that they enjoy doing. Um, Enjoying law school or finding law school exciting or boring is really subjective. It's going to be something that you'll have to judge for yourself. I like it. Um, I know that I am exactly in the place that I'm supposed to be. Um, and so finally it feels good for me. Um, but I hope that you're doing your due diligence and that you're thinking hard about it and that if you've made a decision that law school might be something that you'd be really interested in, that you don't let fear or anything else hinder you. Just go ahead and go for it, okay? Questions, comment box. Thank you for your comment, and rate and subscribe. Thank you.